Welcome back to the Barbecue Network. I hope everyone had a great Shabbat and is enjoying this day today. I am going to review a movie called The Island, and it's not the 2005 Michael Bay movie that starred Ewan McGregor and Scarlett Johansson and Djimon Hounsou, among others, which was about cloning, etc. Really good movie for a Michael Bay movie. This movie is from 1980. I believe it was released in the summer of 1980, and I'd never really heard of it at all. It's written, or was based on a book that was written by Peter Benchley, and I believe he wrote the screenplay. Now, Peter Benchley was the writer of Jaws, the book, and involved in the screenplay for that. Carl Gottlieb and others wrote as well. And then also a movie with Nick Nolte that I wanted to see called The Deep, which was a box office hit, and I think 2 years after Jaws. I'm not sure of his involvement on the Jaws sequels, but I think he wasn't involved too much. So then, I don't know what he did much. He died many years later after this, but The Island was not a box office success, and it was produced by Universal, the same place that made Jaws, of course, and Zanuck and Brown were involved in the production of this film as well. This movie stars Michael Caine, who would go on to be in Jaws 4, which I feel is a very underrated movie, as are all the Jaws sequels. Michael Caine's one of my all-time favorite actors. Most people probably know him as Alfred or whatever from the Batman Dark Knight films. It's unfortunate. You can know him for whatever you know him for, but his body of work is tremendous. I've never really seen him play anyone that's not British or anything like that, but he plays who he plays, and he plays them really, really well. And in this, he's a British American, I guess. He's a journalist, splitting custody with his wife, who doesn't seem like she's got her priorities straight. So she drops her son off with him for the weekend or the week, and he's trying to investigate why all these people keep going missing near the Bermuda Triangle. So he kind of tells his son, we're going to go to this museum of ducks and mice down in Florida, which his son's all excited to go to Disney World, and that's what he means by that. So, because the kid wants to go to just a regular museum. So anyway, he kind of bilks him into going with him on this journalistic endeavor. And the son even knows it. He's like, you're double crossing me and all this. But hey, the dad's got to do what he wants to do. And he takes his son with him down to Florida. The son kind of gives him a guilt trip as soon as they get to Florida. So they go buy a gun. Very strange scene where they go to a gun shop and he literally buys them a 22. So the son's a good shot. And the father's a good shot too. He says he served in the Korean War. So this guy seems like a cool character, he's telling the son not to play with the gun in the car and all this stuff, and the kid's kind of a jackass in my opinion. So anyway, as the first couple scenes of the movie, you see all these like drunken people on a yacht, and then they all get murdered by you don't know who. That's a really cool scene. They think that there's a cadaver on a boat. They go to rescue the dying or dead body, and the body is not dead. It pops up and slices them open with an axe and kills all of them basically. And you see that happen a couple more times, and then obviously they're not killing everyone. They take this young girl and they take various other people. So you're getting the idea that something's going on, and this guy thinks something's going on as well. So he's down there to investigate it, and sure enough, they go on this plane. This dude's an idiot and doesn't know how to fly the plane and crashes it. The guy they hire. And then once they're on this island, I forget really what happens, but all of a sudden they're taken in by these buccaneers, these crazy people that have been robbing boats for hundreds of years, killing the people on the boats, and trying to find people that are good breeders. They're referring to people as breeders. So they abduct his son, and they basically start brainwashing the son. The son's already kind of a jackass, so he falls under their spell pretty easily. They take Michael Caine hostage. I believe he starts having sex with this woman that they want him to have sex with, in captivity there, and Michael Caine's got real strength in the film. I saw that he was nominated for a Golden Raspberry for it, and I'm like, wow. I mean, that's a bad award to be nominated for. Why are they piling on this movie? I could see why they're piling on the movie, because it's not very good. It's essentially just a time waster, and that they're gonna endure a bunch of drama and then get over on the island or get over on the Buccaneer type people. But there's a huge high body count in it. I mean, a whole Coast Guard boat gets mowed down. All the Buccaneers get mowed down at the end by Michael Caine heroically just taking a Tommy gun to all of them. But not any of the acting matches up to his acting. There's this one Australian girl that does pretty good in there. Her last name's McGregor, Angela McGregor or something like that. Thought she did pretty good, but the other individuals, David Warner, really much chewing the scenery and don't really add much. You don't really ever feel that threatened by them. They seem kind of cartoonish and weird, very weird. So this is The Island, and it's directed by Michael Ritchie. And God love him, he did some really good movies later, but this is not really one of them. I think this is a overly produced movie, not a lot of directorial flair to it. Just kind of like, hey, we got these set pieces, you better show these characters in this peril here and show them how they're going to escape from this situation here. And the music really does not match the movie at all. The music actually tries to make you almost root for the Buccaneers, it sounds like. So anyway, I think Michael Caine's performance was really good. I could see how it gets lost in it a little bit, but he endures probably quite a lot physically as an actor or performer in it, and I recommend it for his performance. Michael Ritchie would go on to make Fletch, Golden Child, Wildcats, many classic movies of the 80s, and also Fletch Lives as well. So that's the movie, The Island. If you're going to, like I did today, want to burn off some time before it starts raining, interesting movie to check out. And that's The Island, starring Michael Caine. Thanks so much.